Hi guys, welcome to Manhood Explained. My name is Camille and today is 26th of February 2020. Welcome to live number 61. If you're seeing gender war on the horizon or see what's going on lately, you may be, afraid or scared what's going on. But today I'm going to tell you how to avoid this whole thing and how to make your, enjoyment of your relationship even better using this whole thing. So, ready? A few days ago, I was scrolling through my Facebook feed, and I found one of my friends, a lady, putting in her as a post video of Cynthia Nixon reading "Be a Lady," they said video. And some of you probably watched this because it's a viral video and so on. But interestingly enough, I stumbled upon this video which had no comment. It was just a video posted. And there, before I even watched the video, under it there was a comment from her friend, the guy I didn't know, the gentleman, but he just put the comment there, which was basically said something like this. Let me paraphrase a little bit. And he put everything that was said in the video in the kind of mirror kind of way towards men. Because if you haven't watched this video, you can watch that you can look for that on YouTube, probably on, just look at somebody's Facebook. I would put it, but then I would have to translate this whole comment as well. And I don't know if I want to go into that because I want to show how this whole thing is just misleading you. So just look for, for this whole thing in YouTube. But basically, it just says she's just reading. I think there was a comment or some kind of a blog or something like this, which basically listed tons of things, many times contradictory, which supposedly society requires from women. And what he did basically is kind of reverse this and kind of ask the same things which society supposedly requires from men. And when I looked at both of those, just being kind of, side by side, I saw that, wow, this is a great commentary on where we are as a society today. Because you've got to understand there are three major things that you need to understand how this whole thing is so destructive. First of all, ask yourself a question. What this video, kind of, if you're able to put aside what this video was talking about and what this comment was talking about, what this video basically does, it says about a lot of things that many people who, especially if you don't really know who you are, if you're not really confident with yourself, it just tells you how many contradictory signals you get from other people, who you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to behave, how you're supposed to look, how you're supposed to do things. And unfortunately, this whole video was recorded in this kind of manner that you as a person, especially if you're a young lady, you'll take this as a, yeah, they want so much from me. I don't, they say they need to do this, and in a second later they say I need to do something different, and it just amps you up and makes you much more, makes you anxious and angry that you kind of have to agree that there's so many standards that you don't know who you're supposed to be, and it just brings this kind of feeling that you even more you don't know who is supposed to be even more. It's like complicates the whole thing just because you've got this list in front of you. But then the same thing would happen to guys, because if you read this comment, which was kind of passively aggressively translated or kind of transmuted to a man's perspective, and if you read it as a guy under video that said something like this, you would say, first of all, yeah, there's so many things required from us, supposedly by society, and then as a reply to the video, that it pushes towards this very aggressive and passive aggressive basically video that pushing ladies against society again. It just, you can see that this video, first of all, it just antagonizes us. It just put us in the position that they feel that, this whole thing is unfair. His comment says that it's unfair for us, and it antagonizes us. Even though I know that this guy didn't really meant that, I think, but the seeing this two both next to each other, it was amazing to see that it's exactly missing the point. Second thing that the whole thing makes is pushes you to think about yourself. What about me? How I supposed to act? Who I supposed to be? What do you want from me? Me, and me again. You see? And then you start to think, really? That's the way to live your life? To kind of concentrate on yourself again? I would understand if you're like 15 years old and you don't really know who you are. You don't really know what you want from life. But it was recorded by well-known actress. Adult woman, I would have to say. So what kind of message that brings? What is the deal with all of this? And the same thing towards this comment. Like, you cannot act like this if you're adult people. And on top of this, as a cherry on the top of this cake, there's no solutions. It's just a video and just a comment saying about how you as a person, whether you're a guy or a girl, or a girl as a guy or a guy, how you're supposed to feel bad that society treats you this way. And I looked at it and I commented under it. I said, listen, this is completely wrong, because it gives you no solution to the problem. What kind of positive impact that thing will bring to any life of any young or not even so young lady and the guy? Division, anxiousness, and inability to kind of see clearly what you're supposed to do in your life. So I want you to learn 3 things from all of this, because the whole idea about this video and how to avoid gender wars, which basically this kind of video and this kind of comment putting together shows that it all exists in our society right now. How to move from this gender wars towards looking at your relationship and make it work, especially for you as a guy if you're listening to this. So first of all, learn and understand that whatever brings your anxiousness up and your anxiety up, and whatever brings your emotions that you start to feel angry or feel cheated or treated badly, and it's not giving you any solutions, just avoid that altogether. Whatever, it's a video, it's a comment, it's an article, whatever it is, if it's not having a solution to the problem that it provides, run away from it. Because if you look at this video, when I clicked on it, it took me to the newspaper's article, one of the well-known newspapers in Poland, and not even mentioning that in the title was like, every woman's supposed to watch this video. And I would ask, and what kind of solutions you provided for them to help solve this problem? None. And second, at the end of this article, you saw that this whole campaign was provided by some media company. And I always ask myself, I don't know how they can benefit from this kind of video, but obviously this is like a marketing campaign. And this is the same old story, the same old strategy that is used by media, is used by marketing companies. Now that you just use shock and shocking value as something to drag the people's attention, but it brings nothing positive to anyone who's listening to it. So that's why, if it's not providing solutions, avoid it. Second, learn how to look for solutions, because it brings nothing positive to see the list of the problems. So then have this ability to say, okay, I see the problem, you named it, cool, what do we do with this? What is the solution? What is the positive thing that we can do to kind of find solution to the problem and to make this whole thing better? Now when we can name the problem, it's supposed to be automatic reaction to look for a solution. And 3, I want you to learn how to use understanding about those 2 things and bring it into your relationship. You've got to understand that your relationship is the only place that you're supposed to care about it. Because look, if I'm in my relationship, There be many examples that I could use, but let's say it this way. I'm as a guy, I love when women have long hair. I as a guy and me as a photographer, and my wife knows about it, and I know why, because it, from my perspective, it brings so much femininity, so much beauty. And I saw that many times, that when there's a girl or lady, going with the beautiful long hair, men are just like, we kind of lose it because it's beautiful. And that's why I think that it's great. But maybe you want to have short hair. Maybe your explanation is that it's easier to manage. Cool. Who gave me the permission to tell you what to do? So I'm not going to do it. I can tell you what's my preference, but it's not putting you in a position that you have to do anything. But my wife knows that I like long hair. Guess what kind of length of hair she has? Long one. Duh. Why? Because in a relationship, it's all about learning how to play this game, how this whole thing works, so we could make this whole thing much better experience, much more enjoyable. And it goes the other way around as well. If she wants me to be the guy who she can count on, that is taking care of what needs to be taken care of, that who is emotionally and physically and mentally involved in whatever happens in our relationship, I could say, I don't give a crap. I can do whatever I want. I don't have to do anything. I can, just do nothing and, sit and play computer games all day. But that would have consequence, and probably would not be married anymore if I would do this all the time. So that's why, from my perspective, if I want to have this relationship working and having fun and having this whole thing as enjoying it all, I would say, what can I do? What does it mean? And what do I have to do to make this whole enjoyable for her, so she could see that I'm fulfilling her need and her wants? And that's how it all works. And even more, you can see that the whole list that is there in this video, and the whole list that it was there in this comment, it's all about saying that once she has to be quiet, once she has to say a lot, once she has to be emotional, once she has to be logical. And it's like contradictory. No, it's not. When you look at life and in relationship in this particular case, it's like, once when I'm working, I don't want her to be here and kind of interrupt me. But then when we're sitting and having tea in our hands, I want to talk with her, because that's the whole point. And then maybe I want her to be logical, and where we trying to deal with finances or something, I want her to be on top of her game and to fix the problem. But then 5 minutes later, I want her to be emotional and hide in my arms. And the other way around, the same thing. Maybe she wants me to be a tough guy to deal with things that we need to deal. But maybe 5 minutes later, she wants me to be this fuzzy teddy bear sitting with her under the blanket and watching our TV show with tea in our hands. And I'll gladly do it, because it's not misconception. It's not contradictory. It's just how we live our lives. So you've got to kind of grasp it, that the whole thing is that you've got to know where to really pay attention to what people want from you. It works in a relationship. It's supposed to be something that you have to learn. What does she want from me? What does he want from me? How can we play this game? How can we even stretch this whole thing to poke each other around to make this whole thing spicy and interesting? But outside, if society wants you to walk like this, to dress like this, who gives a who? You know what I'm saying? Why would you even care? If you sign the papers that you're going to work in this company and they have dress code, that's understandable. But beside that, you're supposed to, have some respect to your parents and grandparents, because you love them. They're your family. You don't do stupid stuff for them because it's your family. You love them, and you're supposed to have respect, especially to elders. But outside of that, if you're behaving nice, it's just because you can, not because you have to. And so that's the whole point. Know where to really care what somebody thinks about you. But rest, you don't really own anything to anyone. So understand and don't take too much on yourself. Just to figure out who you want to be and how to play your relationship game so you will enjoy it. So this is what I want you to take from this video. If you see something or someone saying something that makes you angry, divides people, not giving you any solutions, avoid it altogether, because it's bad, and it's gonna bring just pain and suffering. Second, learn how to be solution oriented and have this ability to, I see the problem, how can I use it to make things better? And three, learn where you're supposed to care what people say or think about you, in this particular case your relationship, and learn how to play this game and enjoy it. Rest, don't care about it. And especially for you guys, if you're listening to this video, listen, just give yourself permission to be the tough one, to not react emotionally on this kind of stuff, and just compliment your lady all the time. Tell her that you love when she when she has this classy look and dress and so on, and then compliment her when she's like trying to tease you, half naked or topless, or wearing this very fancy things for you. Then just compliment her when she's really logical and she's helping to solve problems, and then compliment her when she's playing this young girl that she's gonna just hide in your arms. Compliment her over and over again, because if you kind of build in her this ability to see that you love her no matter what she does, then she'll be so self-confident, so aware that you just love her, that she'll look at this kind of video and say, please. By building her self-confidence, you basically play this game like a man and play this game like a boss. Think about it, do something about it, and see you tomorrow.